Yes, it's Arafire. Welcome to another episode of Look Out and Shout. And today I am very excited to go through this one with you. It's something I have wanted for a very long time. I have even mentioned it on my channel recently. So today we are looking at Fanstoys Quietus, their Cyclonus, the expensive myth that is. And we'll get to that. But yes, I was so after this for such a long time. Ummed and ahed, with good reason, with very good reason. But I decided I'll get it, and I've got it, and we're going to go through it. So when you look at the box, you can see obviously the photo art and everything and the jet in there, but you can just see behind, and you might have to be up close to see it. That is actually Cybertron, just behind him. And I don't think I've recognised that on any of the other box arts. There's a very faint version of something that's resembling Cybertron. But not only that, on the back of it, there's a whole story. And I just don't think, I haven't got that many Fanstoys Transformers, and I don't think I've actually taken the time to read them. But it's quite its own little story there, which is obviously Cyclonus, but it doesn't mention Cyclonus. It mentions Quietus, and it mentions Sovereign, which is of course their version of Galvatron. But an interesting final line here. Despite Sovereign's fiery charisma with some whispers of fanaticons, be lost without Quietus's behind-the-scenes leadership. Sovereign's lieutenant will not hear of it, and those who speak such blasphemies within audible senses will be in range of Escrima's spy network. Escrima? Was that the name of their acoustic wave? Escrima Sky Network. I'm not sure of that one. Seldom function long enough to do so twice. So interesting on the back, it's just more than just product shots. There's actually a little mini synopsis on the back of it. I just don't think I've ever appreciated it to take time. Now, of course, I will mention as well, this is FT-29T. This is, I believe, to be the more metallic-y paint version, but it certainly has got more of a pink tinge to the face, the arms and the legs. So there was obviously two paint schemes that were slightly released. I'll have to put up a picture to show you side-by-side comparisons. So yeah, let's take a look, shall we? Of course, it goes without saying, he comes with the instruction book, and it comes with his stat card, which has got a very purple Cyclonus on it, with stats on the back, as you often see. And there is Quietus in all of his glory in robot mode, and he just looks so good. He looks so premium. He feels premium. Everything about him is just masterpiece grade. If ever there's a word that describes a figure, it is masterpiece. I know masterpiece is the class or the scale or the size, but masterpiece is very much what Fanstoys' representation of Cyclonus is. It's just so good to look at. Let's get in a bit closer. So you can see right away from the chiseled details on the face, the cheeks, it just has a lot of fierceness expression to it. Even you get some very nice sculpting on the neck. It's where you really do start to pay for the really good quality as well. I love the reflectiveness of the purple. It's such a smooth chest. I'm going to put a Decepticon logo on it, but I want to be very careful what goes on it because it just looks so pristine and sheen. It's very, very nice. I don't want to spoil it. From the back, very tidy as well. Houses the jet very nicely. Now, of course, with this being the metallic edition, or the T edition, I don't know if it comes up on camera, but his arms and legs are in fact like a soft pink, almost like a violet sort of colour. And I'm not entirely sure where that's from. That's going to be cartoon orientated, I guess, but only in some of the episodes, whether that's the Rebirth series or some other episodes of season 3, I'm not sure. You obviously have the choice to get it in with this soft pink or a clearer white, and the same goes for the face. I'm not too sure which I prefer. Maybe I would have preferred the white of the two, but this isn't an unattractive pink by any means. Some lovely Unicron-esque detailing there with an orange chest piece. I will say the legs probably seem to be the most finicky of it all. I wouldn't say that there's looseness to it, but as it's part of the transformation, the legs collapse open to fold up, and sometimes they can come a bit loose as you pose him into robot mode. I haven't tabbed that in properly. So, all in all, very, very impressive. Of course, accessory-wise, he comes with absolutely everything. So you can see kind of the default face he's got on there at the moment. He actually comes with a load of other faces. So first of all, we have this another kind of goatee face. I don't know if I can even try and get this into focus. And with that, he's screaming, but with a goatee, as opposed to what he's got on, which is very stern goatee, if you can see that. And then you have stern no goatee, just normal plain face, and angry no goatee. So plenty of facial choices, but that's not where it ends as well. He also comes with another head, an IDW inspired head of Cyclonus, which does look very, very nice. Lovely detailing on the side, and of course one broken horn, or bunny ears. I don't know what really you call it. Certainly bunny ears in a robot mode here. And he comes with a pair of other horns to replace out. So if you want to go a more IDW style, you can. And I think that is so very, very good of Fanstoys to do, because they're saying that Cyclonus has been in a number of forms of media and incarnations over the years. If you are G1 orientated, then there you go, fresh out the box, and maybe with a couple of faces. But if you want to go, say, down an IDW route and G1 isn't particularly your bread and butter, they've got you covered with an alternative head. So if you want to pose with, say, a Lost Light collection, you can. But keeping with a sort of a samurai theme, which that IDW head does do, he comes with two very nice swords, and very large ones at that. So this sword, very, very nice actually, and a smaller sword as well. Now, I do recall him having swords in the IDW comics, but maybe not using them quite as much, and I'm not even sure he had two of them. Certainly I do think he had one. But he comes with two. They're very good, very nice design as well, on the sword guard or the hand guard. Very nice feel of the grip there as well. But it doesn't stop there. He also comes with these pads. They're like, there is a technical name for them, I'm not entirely sure, and they clip on to his legs, and I'll show you in just a second. But this is actually where the swords slide into, and he wears them on his legs. So you can really kind of effectively dress him up. He's an action man in disguise. There's so many accessories, and it keeps on going. So of course when it comes to other weapons, and more specifically guns, he comes with not one, not two, but 3 guns. And this is a bit more of a typical Cyclonus gun that we will have seen from the show, and he holds onto it pretty well. He also comes with a bit more of a rifle with a scope, which is quite large in comparison. Holds onto that pretty well as well. I'll put pictures of these all up at the end so you can see all the different configurations you can get. But he also comes with another gun. And prizes for guessing who this is. Yes, this is Nightstick in his Target Master mode. And he doesn't come in this mode. I'll just quickly put him in this mode to show you all the weapons. That is actually a very good representation of it. I'm very pleased with it. So yeah, that's a probably one of the better set of accessories I've seen for a Transformers toy in a very long time. You often get alternative heads and facial expressions. That's kind of become the norm now. But rather than just having alternate faceplates, we've got another head, top of a headpiece with these alternative horns, 2 swords, one big, one small. We have shield bits for his legs, as well as 3 guns. One thing which I've just noticed, which is a bit of a shame, is that as I've got him holding Nightstick, his Target Master I should say, it appears to be a bit much for the elbow joint. Maybe I needed to clip that in a bit more. Just something I thought I'd mention. And here is little Nightstick. I do like the detailing on it. I don't know if I can bring it in focus so you can see, but the face is done quite well with the red eyes and the gold faceplate. It's quite well detailed. I think, having seen one of these before with my version of Blur, Fanstoys Blur, they do put a lot of detailing into these Target Masters, which is very good for what was effectively just really 3 episodes in normal release, obviously more into the Headmaster series, but I appreciate the time and detailing that's gone into the Target Masters. I will just point out some of the articulation, but I won't go too mad at it. He gets pretty good up and down motion on the head because he has a very sort of stern, mean presence to him, both in toy form and in all forms of media. So you can get some quite looking down almost disapprovingly at people who aren't worth his time. Get some good poses out of that. The arms are pretty good as well. You almost get like 2 of it, if you know what I mean. You get like a sort of a soft motion, but then there is like a main shoulder motion as well as bicep, elbow bend, and some of the more tougher and more durable finger joints I've come across. I would always be a bit concerned, particularly nowadays, applying some force to them, and God knows we've seen finger digits break, but they don't feel like they're going to break on you. I have had the thumb pop out once when I took them out of the box, but it pops right back in. So very good on that one. Waist swivel, not so much, and yeah, that's becoming a bit of a long-term dispute now, figures without waist swivel. Sadly, Fanstoys are quite guilty of that. Legs, soft friction out, and then ratchet forward and back. Some very decent sized ratchets in that as well. You get some good poses out of that. The knees, you do have to be a bit careful, because as I say, it can knock open the back panel, so hold the back of it and you get ever so slightly over 90-degree bend. So you can get some good wide leg pose, and of course my favourite, an ankle tilt. So poses aren't a problem with this guy, and hopefully at the end I'll be able to stick up some good poses to show you some of it. And the only comparison I can really do to this is of course alongside Galvatron, but this is the open and play Galvatron, which is really an upscale version of the Titan's Return, I believe. It's not the best Galvatron by any means, but I haven't got Fanstoys Sovereign to hand. But that gives you some idea of height, scale and companionship, shall we say. And here he is in his majestic play mode, and that is a very, very sleek design. It's very typical of Fanstoys, I find, particularly when you look at their aerial bots. They do like to go for the clean cut in robot mode, but very much so in jet mode, and it's very easy in jet mode of course to just hide a robot directly underneath, and no such sign of that here. That is a very, very slender Cyclonus. It's obviously a very long Cyclonus. It's very large wingspan and a large nose cone, but the thickness, or should I even say the thinness of it, is really quite special. It's tremendous engineering to hold this much die cast and very dense plastic to fold away into something compact. I think it's absolutely wonderful. Let's get it in a bit closer. Now of course you can see I've left the QC sticker on there. I like to do that just to remind myself that it has been checked. But there's the back kind of vents or jet engines, I suppose. These are very much the jet engines of it. It's a very reflective purple or even soft blue that's used, with the orange tint of the cockpit, very reminiscent of the 1986 movie. It's you have to turn it around a bit like a battleship. It's very very pointy. Very nice. Cleans up on the underside very well. Okay, yes, you can see the hands, but if that's all you can see, it's really not too bad at all. It's got good weight to it. All the weight's in the back, so if you were to get a flight stand for it, which you can pick up, I imagine the weight distribution isn't a problem at all. I do like these markings on the inlay of the wings. It's just a very mesmerising piece, and it looks so good in robot mode, but it just looks just as good in this mode as well. And I transformed Nightstick as well into his Target Master mode, or rather his gun mode I should say. Very nice. It does look very accurate to the Rebirth series, to the cartoon. The only thing is, I don't think I can connect this up to Cyclonus. I don't think I found a way, for at the very least this holster which goes into his hand in robot mode, that it can sit on top. Unless there's something I'm missing, which I'll have to check over the instructions again. It would have been nice if it could like sit on top, which is quite reminiscent of the Rebirth cartoon. But still, that's what he looks like all transformed up. Very intimidating, will look very good in robot mode of course. And this is how he scales alongside another Fanstoys design. This is their interpretation of Blur here, and as you can see, very similar shades of blue going on. You can certainly see a similar palette in mind Well, I would say Cyclonus has got more of a metallic sheen to it, but yeah, both Fanstoys designed, both quite similar in releases, I think. And here he is alongside some other Season 3 jets, which of course you may recognise from different companies. So we have KFC's Blitzwing over here, and we have Unique Toys' version of Octane over here, with Fanstoys Cyclonus in the middle. But quite some wingspan going on here. I've had to come back quite a way to get them all in the same shot. And of course the comparison that everyone wants to see is how does he look alongside Kingdom Cyclonus. And I'm not sure if one is an advert for the other. This Kingdom Cyclonus, of course, is really, really good. Very, very good, in fact. But it looks so good in this mode, it makes you want to upgrade, I think, to the Masterpiece, because that just looks so good in that mode. But they're very similar. They're kind of a homage to each other. Okay, they're all a homage to Cyclonus, and you can't really get this design wrong. It's a very unique design, so you have to stick to it. But the jet modes on both are really, really good. Transformation on both couldn't be more different, of course. This is Chug, this is Masterpiece. There's a lot more diecast in this. There's actually no diecast in that. So, still, a nice comparison of two very good figures. What I think is quite funny is that he comes with a wealth of accessories, as we've seen, yet none of these accessories are really for plain mode or jet mode. You can't actually fit them in much anywhere. Fanstoys haven't really designed this with having underslung missiles or anything in mind, and you can't really stick a sword on the side of a plane. The only thing you can really do is you can put his purple cannon into a circular hole on the top, should you want to. It doesn't look particularly nice, but it's something you can do. It's quite interesting given the amount of accessories they really are only compatible with one mode. I will just say that tabbing in isn't a real big issue for it. There are a couple of bits that may be not as flush as it could be, but nothing is massively ajar. Maybe the worst thing that I've come across with this is at the front. Maybe that doesn't go down as much as I would like, but still it tabs in very well. It's very clean. There's no stress points or anything like that, and it didn't fight me as a transformation either. So I think as a clean final product, Fanstoys have done themselves really proud here. Okay, so my final thoughts on this wonderful, wonderful thing. It's wonderful, shock horror. It impressed me just as much as I thought it was going to when I took it out of the box. You can't put a price on first impressions, believe it or not. I took it out and it felt special. It looked special when I first picked it up. It felt special in the hand. And you thought to yourself, wow, this is premium. This is the only word that really comes to my mind whenever I handle this figure. It's premium. It's Masterpiece. It's probably one of the most well done Masterpiece figures that I've come across. But that covers everything from presentation to accessories to paint to articulation to a degree. It's just got so much going for it. Transformation is pretty straightforward, all things considered. It doesn't fight you, not like some other Fanstoys transformations can. I really do think it will fit and suit anyone's collection. I love the fact that you can effectively dress him up to fit your collection. If you want an IDW style, if you want a Target Master look, if you want to make your own combination of the two, it's got you covered. There's so much available to it. But that doesn't mean to say it's perfect. Now, what would I like to see more of it? I'd like to see maybe a bit more articulation. That's one thing that I wouldn't say Fanstoys are massively known for. We still have no waist swivel. This is a bit of an issue. Not exactly that this isn't a brand new figure, so it's something they have been releasing latter figures on, and that's still an issue, so that's an ongoing problem, sadly. Posability is good. It's good where it counts. Ankles, elbows, maybe the shoulders are a bit limited because they're quite fixed to the chest plate. Maybe I would have liked to have seen a bit more articulation in that sense. And not so much tolerance issues. The clips are pretty good. But yeah, I have said before about maybe the back panels of the legs come off because that's part of the transformation. So when you try and bend the knees, it can easily knock it out. But that's possibly the worst thing I can say about it. But that's not the worst thing I can say about Fanstoys in general, sadly. Not so much on this figure. It's a great figure. But the big elephant in the room, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The big elephant in the room is the price. Now, everyone will know that that is a very expensive toy. And that's what it is. It's a toy. It's a great toy. It's a wonderful toy. But it's very, very expensive. Now, when that first came out, I think it retailed at about £150 to £170. Now, on the secondary market, second-hand copies can easily go for £200 is a good price. £200 is a bargain in that sense. You can easily pay £250, £300, £350. You can get into stupid territory of £400 plus. The curse of the secondary market on Fanstoys is a problem anyway. That is considered one of their better figures, much like with their Sovereign, much like with their Phoenix, their Galvatron and Jetfire respectively. But that in itself just drives up the price, and then when you get hold of it, yes, it's very good, and I don't regret paying what I paid for to get it. I just feel for people who kind of have to pay for that to get that level of quality, and this is very, very high quality. My God, are you paying through the nose for it? It's a shame. It has to be a big negative point for this figure, because you look at other companies, you start looking at other alternatives. X-Transbots, I believe, have their own version of Cyclonus. Not to mention this wonderful thing that we got from Kingdom recently, which is £25. I mean, people are going to say, I've got this, why do I have to have the Quietus version? It's a very hard argument to give. It's enough to put people off, and it's a shame because it's such a wonderful figure that many people will not have in their collection because of that very high price point. But that being said, what do I give this figure? What is my final scoring for it? And that last point that I brought up about price has to be a factor. Whilst it's a bit maybe unfair to say about the figure, you're not going to get it with some of the other Fanstoys offerings, and certainly without the other Masterpiece offerings on the market. But that all being said, I give this 4 3/4 Rodimus star badges. It's near perfect in my eyes because of everything it does well. It does super well. It does so well. The accessories are breathtaking. The sheer look of it, you just want to stare at it in your collection. But the negative point being, yes, the articulation, but probably the two bigger points that really are out of this particular toy's control is the availability and the price when you get hold of one. It's a shame that you feel you have to mark it down for that, but it is a factor that a collector will face. But what do you guys think? Do you have a copy of this? Have you handled a copy yourself? Is it something that you want? What exactly do you like about it? What don't you like about it? What would you like to see maybe in a reissue? Because Fanstoys are starting to go down a reissue route. Could this come out again? It's already come out in a new paint scheme, so who's to say there won't be further tweaks down the line. But that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and as always, I will see you on the next one.